This June the 3rd Picks edition of the MLB Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Edge Boost, the bank account built for bettors. Sign up today at edgeboost.bet with the promo code SGPN and get a free Refs Are Terrorists t-shirt. Claim your t-shirt at sportsgamblingpodcast.com/refs. We're also brought to you by Naira Bets. Get your $25 free bet for the Belmont by going to nairabets.com/SGPN25, promo code SGPN25. Welcome, everybody, to the MLB Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. My name is Malcolm Bamford, coming to you from Newcastle upon Tyne in the northeast of England. Today is Monday. Yeah, definitely Monday. Monday, June the 2nd. We are here to handicap a full slate of MLB action for Tuesday, June the 3rd. Joining me, I hope he knows what day it is better than I do, from North Carolina, is Mr. Lonte Smith. Lonte, how's your Monday going?
Not bad, man. Hopefully, I wasn't a fan of the card this weekend. Didn't do well. So hopefully the Yankees blew a game, and then they could have won the series against the Dodgers, getting World Series flashbacks. But yeah, man, overall, not the best weekend. But I just thought the games just weren't as appealing. We had some crazy comebacks. I was on Seattle when Munoz blew that game. They were up 6-3 at the top of the ninth. They give up 3, and they score 6. I was on the Yankees for the comeback. They were pummeling the Dodgers, and the Dodgers came back. So, yeah, man, crazy weekend. But it's in the past. We'll just look forward to this week.
That is one of the nice things we get to say every week on the Monday show, at least, Lonte, that we can put whatever happened last week, we can put it behind us. I feel like I've had no rhythm for probably 3 weeks now. I had a slow start, and then I got it going for 3 or 4 weeks. And then every night's like 6 and 7, and I'm juiced out. 7 and 8, juiced out. I just can't get quite ahead. So not terrible, but it's win one, lose one, and end up juicing myself out.
Like the Atlanta Braves.
The other thing that happened this weekend was I got turfed out of the Survivor contest, having cruised through 6 weeks. 6 weeks, beautiful. And then I lost my 3 strikes in 4 weeks. So I took the Diamondbacks last week. 2 home series. The home series against Pittsburgh, home series against the Nationals. Then they went 2-4. So that was my 3rd strike. So I've got no more Survivor fun. Just went from full to empty. I went from, like I say, 6 winning weeks in a row to 3 losing weeks out to 4, and that was the end of that. If you are lurking about in the comment section, by all means, say hello. If you never get a chance to, or you don't often to come and join us on YouTube, by all means, do it. D. Johnson, who has joined us live, hardly ever catches the show live, but he's got off work tonight. So be like D. Johnson is the answer. Come and catch us in the show live here on YouTube. 15 games tomorrow. 12 of them are on the board, which isn't bad considering the Monday games haven't yet started. Only 2 left-handed pitchers on the entire card. I found this relatively straightforward again. But the more I say that, the more danger that seems to envisage. But we'll see how we go. Let me tell you first about the Stanley Cup final and the NBA finals of this week. You can get all of SGPN's free picks and podcasts with the SGPN app. Lonte, what's happening in the NBA? What do I need to know? I like our Monday NBA catch-up.
Yeah, it's coming to a close, man. OKC, Indiana playing for the finals. It starts on Thursday. So Oklahoma City, just to give you a of how competitive it's supposed to be, Oklahoma City's -7. They opened -700 series favorites, and they were bid up to -800. So that just goes to show you nobody's giving Oklahoma City a chance as far as the odds makers.
And what about you, though? Are you giving them a chance?
No. I agree with those. I agree with those odds, but I do think it'll be a competitive series. It just won't last long.
Short and sweet, love it. Okay, 6:40 Eastern first pitch on Tuesday is the Houston Astros at the Pittsburgh Pirates. We have Lance McCullers Jr. going for Houston. For Pittsburgh, it will be Paul Skeens. And we did Skeens last week, I think, as well. The Pirates minus 140, Houston plus 120. Total here is 7.5. Lance McCullers struck out 12 Athletics last time out, pitched well, bringing his ERA down. His ERA was absolutely ruined by a 7 earned run start when he only got one out at Cincinnati. And actually, the rest of his stuff hasn't been too bad. If you looked at his numbers, it would put you off. But if once you dive into it, you can put a line through that start. It starts a 4-1 to the over. 3-2 straight up. Houston have won. Now, Paul Skeens, the Pirates have won 2 in a row for him, his last 2 starts. Pretty much after I made the case that you had to fade him every time because they were always too short. So the minute I made that case, they've started winning. I still don't think it's a bad system to employ. Pittsburgh aren't in bad form. They've won that. I know that because I watched them win that series against the D-backs earlier in the week. But Houston is 7-3 in their last 10 games. And Pittsburgh at minus 140 is just no way attractive at all. I'm going to stick to my system. And at these prices, I'll take Houston to get it done at plus 120, Lonte.
Yeah, I like Houston as well. Just to expand on some of your points, because you hit on some good ones and ones that I was going to make. McCullers, 20 Ks in his last 2 starts. He's had 2 or less in 2 of his last 3 earned runs, that is. He's got 0 earned runs in his last 7 2/3 innings pitched in 2 road appearances. So pretty solid on the road. The offense has been better for Houston, but a lot of their success of those 10 wins, a lot of that, they played 3 straight home series. So, that's kind of catered to how they've been playing, which they generally play well at home. Pittsburgh, pretty solid. I mean, I was in fade mode of them all year, but they've been 500 in the last 10. They were 3-3 on their road trip. They're playing a lot better, but they don't really hit the ball well, especially at home. They're hitting about 216 at home, and Houston's hitting under 225 on the road. So that brings me to an under 7.5. I mean, Skeens is going to be Skeens. He's actually been slightly better on the road than he has at home, which is something to kind of monitor. But all in all, I think the number is a little bit too high. Obviously, as you're going to pay a Skeens tax to back him. I thought it should be closer to minus 120-ish, just the way that Houston's been playing. But I do like the under. I mean, both teams are hitting the ball well last 10, but I'm going to trust the overall numbers and like the season-long numbers and Skeens being able to pitch pretty well, and then McCullers rounding in the form. So I'm going to go under as probably my favorite, and then I'll take Houston with the plus money.
Andrew McCutcheon last night for the Pirates joined Roberto Clemente for franchise home runs for the Pirates, which is a pretty decent company to be in. I like Andrew McCutcheon. He's easy to root for. Yeah. 6:40 Eastern first pitch is the Colorado Rockies at the Miami Marlins. Colorado will start Tanner Gordon. For Miami, it will be your guy, Lonte, Sandy Alcantara. Lines have just dropped on this. Gordon's officially TBD for the Rockies, but I do think it will be him. Colorado plus 146, Miami minus 174. Total Lonte 8.5.
Yeah, so at first look, I was going over just because of the way Sandy's been going. 17 walks in his last 6 starts. He's at 4+ runs in 6 straight. If it is Gordon, Gordon's been okay. I mean, he's pitched well against some elite offenses. He pitched really well against the Yankees, really well against the Cubs. He's had 2 earned allowed in each of his last 2 starts. So he's been okay, but I think Miami offensively is probably the best unit of the 4. So I'm going to trust Miami offensively. I mean, Sandy's going against obviously the worst offense that he's faced. So maybe he can kind of get back on track and get that ERA down. So I'm going to go with the minus 1.5 for Miami. But one of my favorite bets on the card is going to be the over. I think both offenses should be able to score, especially if Sandy doesn't have it. Colorado may can touch him up for 3 or 4 runs.
Yeah, both sides just look horrible. If I asked you to take plus 146 on the Rockies, you'd think I was insane. They've won 9 times. 9 and 50. That's remarkable. 3 and 28 on the road. And you're asking me to back them at plus 146. They should be 7-1. Like, I'd consider backing them at 7-1, but I wouldn't run to the window. I might have a fiver on. I just don't get it. Even against Miami and even against Alcantara, who added 6 more earned runs to his tally last time out, pushing his ERA to 8.47. So you can't. There's nothing attractive about backing Sandy either. It was just too hard to pull the trigger on him. It has to be runs, I agree with you. Back in Colorado, total isn't ideal. But yeah, it's got to be runs off both pitches. Over 8.5 Lonte, I fully agree with you. Third game up, 6:45 Eastern first pitch between the Chicago Cubs and the Washington Nationals. Cade Horton goes for the Cubs. For Washington, it will be Trevor Williams. The Nationals are plus 125 home dogs. The Cubs minus 145. Total sits at 9. Cade Horton has been really good in his last 2 starts. Was quite well thought of. We were expecting decent things from him. Was a bit wobbly to start with, but picked up 2 low-scoring wins in his last 2 starts. And the Cubs have won all 4 of his starts as well. Trevor Williams threw 6 shutout at Seattle last time. That was the outlier. He's got a 6.48 home ERA. And I just much prefer Chicago in this spot. They're 8-2 in their last 10. They are an MLB best 14-4 since May the 12th. And I think they're good enough to beat Washington. Better pitcher, better team. Minus 145 is a fair enough price, Lonte.
Yeah, I completely agree, man. I thought that this was a little bit too short. I thought this would be closer to maybe like 160-ish. Excuse me, especially with the way Chicago's been playing. They generally hit righties pretty well. They're 262 versus righties, 6 runs per 9 in that span. They're hitting almost 280 on the road. And Washington's feisty, but I just don't like the pitching matchup, this specific pitching matchup. Williams is coming off 6 scoreless at Seattle, but he's had 14 earned runs in his last 3 home starts. He's a contact pitcher, not a lot of swing and miss stuff. Chicago, the way they've been hitting the ball all year is something that I think is going to catch up to him. I mean, he's at under 5 Ks in 5 straight games. So I think Chicago should bury him here. Horton's been okay. You talked about the numbers. The starting pitching for Chicago has not been good as of late. The starter's ERA in the last 10 is above 5, but the bullpen ERA is 0.68, and that's something that they have needed. So if the starting pitching can kind of pick it up, I think they'll get back on track. And it says something because they're 8-2 in their last 10, despite their starting pitcher ERA being so high. So I agree with you. I like Chicago. I will look at their team total over as well, man. I think they'll be able to get to Williams. If you want to go first 5, team total over, I don't hate that as well.
Yeah, that's a nice angle in actually the team total. I noticed Kyle Tucker left the game injured, I think last night, Sunday night. So we'll have to see how he's going. Pete Crow Armstrong continues to be excellent for the Cubs. Edge Boost is the first ever bank account built for bettors, ensuring all gambling transactions are approved. No usage fees, no minimums, cashback rewards, 100% approval for all betting deposits. Sign up today at edgeboost.bet with the promo code SGPN. If you sign up this week, you'll get a free Refs Are Terrorists t-shirt. Go to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/refs to claim your free shirt. Underdog is going long for the NBA Finals with their extender bonus. Hop in game 1. The longer the series goes, the bigger the bonus gets. Use our code, which is MLB SGPN, to claim a special pick and first-time deposit offer up to $1,000 in bonus credits. UnderdogFantasy.com, promo code MLB SGPN. And finally, bet the Belmont Stakes at Saratoga with Naira Bets. Sign up today, use the promo code SGPN25 and get a $25 free bet plus a $200 deposit match bonus. Whether you're a seasoned bettor or just getting started, Naira Bets makes it easy to jump in on the action. This exclusive offer is just for the Belmont Stakes, so don't wait. Join now. Claim your free $25 Belmont bet today at nairabets.com. patreon.com/SGPN25. If you want to know where to put your free $25 Naira bet, I'll be doing the Belmont show with Sean and Ryan on the main Sports Gambling Podcast channel on Wednesday, and there'll be an article on the website as well. I'm on a personal Triple Crown search here. I hit the Kentucky Derby, I hit the Preakness, so I'm going to try and go 3 for 3 on Saturday. 7:05 Eastern first pitch is the Cleveland Guardians at the New York Yankees. Tanner Bybee for Cleveland. For the Yankees, it will be left-handed pitcher Carlos Rodon. The Yankees -175, Guardians +155. The total Lonte is 8.
Yeah, I think it's. I think this price is a little short as well. Maybe a good parlay piece. Maybe if you want to parlay them, the Yankees and the Cubs, I think that's a good. That's a good 2-leg parlay. Yankees looking for a little bit of revenge from Cleveland. Cleveland took 2 of 3 in the April series. That was in Cleveland. Most of those games were competitive. Nobody ran away. But the one win came on the 23rd when Rodon threw 7 scores. I mean, Rodon's been amazing this year. Yankees are home from 3 straight road series. They went 6-3 in that span. They blew that game we talked about earlier with the against the Dodgers. They probably should have won that series. And Cleveland's been okay. I mean, 6-4 and the last 10, but they do not hit lefties well. They're like right around 220 versus lefties. Rodon's been in good form, and he's coming in on 13 scoreless innings pitched, 1 combined earned run at home in his last 3. I think the Yankees should be able to bury him here. The bullpen's been a little bit shaky as of late for the Yankees. Bullpen ERA is around 5, but Rodon typically goes 7 innings, 6 2/3 at least. So I think that'll give the bullpen some confidence. Yankees should be able to bury Bybee. I mean, his contact rate is sky high. He's up and down on the road. He did pitch well in the April start, 2 earned in 6 innings, but I think this is a different Yankees team coming in back at home. A series that kind of got away from him. The Dodgers obviously couldn't extract revenge from the World Series, but I do think the Yankees at home, great spot. I'll take the 1.5 if you want to put them in a parlay. I wouldn't mind that as well, but just a good spot for the Yankees to roll.
Yeah, I'm all over the Yankees here. You pointed out the length that Rodon gets makes Rodon to pick up the win. Quite a nice bet, I think, here. Yeah. Bybee's pretty inconsistent, but stark home road splits, 5.13 road ERA. Rodon back-to-back scoreless starts, a 2.60 home ERA. Handicap Cleveland last week against a lefty, pointed out their poor record. They are 3-9 straight up against left-handed starters. The only thing that put me off the run line a little bit was that the Yankees are only covering 48% as a run line favourite. Now, it's a very fine margin, but this is a good spot. That 48% of all spots, this, I think, is a good one. So Yankees on the run line, but Rodon to pick up the win might be a separate angle in on that one. 7:07 Eastern first pitch, the Philadelphia Phillies at the Toronto Blue Jays. Left-handed pitcher Christopher Sanchez scores for the Phillies, and it is my guy Bowden Francis for the Blue Jays, who are +130, Philadelphia -167, and the total is sitting at 8.5. Wheeler was hit for 6 earned runs against Atlanta last time, and that kind of ruined a nice little sequence that he'd been putting together. I trust him to bounce back. He's built up enough of a decent game log for me to be able to do that quite confidently. Has a 2.86 road ERA. Bowden Francis, pretty inconsistent. Is looking a little bit better lately. Has struggled at home, 6.43 ERA at the Rogers Centre. This was hard because Philly have lost 4 in a row, swept at home by the Brewers over the weekend. The Blue Jays continue to be a little bit of a psycho team. Lots of late comebacks, sort of late runs, mad stuff. Dalton Varsho has gone to the IL for the Blue Jays. Just a little bit of news and notes there. So it's quite hard to bet the Phillies at -167 on a 4-game losing streak. But Francis's metrics concern me a little bit. Philly left a lot of runners on base last night. I watched that game against the Brewers. I'm going to take a Philly team total. I think they can get the same amount of runners on, but against Francis, they can bring some of them home. I'll take a Philly team total, Lonte.
Yeah, so I'm going to take the full game over. So we're on the same page. I can kind of agree with a lot of what you were saying. I can't back Philly off 4 straight losses. I mean, they were dominated by Milwaukee this weekend. They were absolutely I had them in a few parlays, and they went up in flames. I mean, they're hitting 215 in their last 10. Toronto 6-4 last 10, but 5 straight wins. Before those came against the A's. So, I don't know how you want to, account that. But they've scored 8+ runs in 4 straight. Offense looks good, 270, hitting around 270 last 10, 4.7 runs per 9 on 9 hits. And you talk about Francis being kind of volatile. His hit rate has been high, but it's decreased over his last 2 starts. So that's, something to I guess that's something to bank on for going forward. He's coming off his first scoreless outing of the year. So a lot of confidence there. I would take a shot with Toronto, but I like the over even more, man. I think both teams should be able to get some offense going, especially the Phillies, like you said. I think the Phillies should be able to get to Francis if he does not have control of his pitches like he has been as of late, and if he gets back to his ways of allowing a lot of contact. And, Philly, that lineup is pretty deadly when they have a chance to be locked in, and I know they're going to be hungry to score a lot of runs to avenge getting dismantled this weekend. So I like the over. I would take a shot with Toronto.
Yeah, couldn't talk you out of it. Toronto just... They're a bit of a madness, really hard for anybody to work out. 7:10 Eastern first pitch is the LA Angels at the Boston Red Sox. Left-handed pitcher Yusei Kikuchi for the Angels. For Boston, it will be Brian Bello. Boston are -140, +120 the Angels. Total Lonte 9.5.
Yeah, at first I looked over. But then I kind of don't trust the Angels offense. They're like one of those teams that they're really hot at one point in time, like offensively. Even though they're still losing, they still would hit the ball well. But as of late, they haven't been. They're 3-7 last 10. Kikuchi's still been okay, man. He's just not getting a lot of run support. 2 or less earned in his last 6. He's got 2 or less in 3 of his last 4 on the road. He does have some walk issues, 3+ in 3 straight. But, I mean, I don't know if you can trust Boston right now either. Bayo's got some length issues. He's not gotten out of the 5th inning in 5 straight. But he's pitched well in limited time. So I would probably look at a first 5 under. And I also look at the Angels in the first 5. I mean, I don't really want to deal with the Angels bullpen. But if Kikuchi can get going and they can maybe get a run or 2 across early and kind of get him a lead, I think he'll pitch a little bit better. And do I trust Boston offensively, although they have the better offense? I mean, they haven't showed it. I mean, they're 2-4 in their 6-game road trip. They're 4-6 in the last 10. So kind of too up and down for me. I'll take a shot with Kikuchi, who I think is the better pitcher as of right now.
Kikuchi was the main thing that interested me in this game. The only problem was he wasn't as good on the road. He had a nice little sequence of wins going until his last start. But generally pitching well, but being much better at home. He's got a 4.30 road ERA. Brian Bello still not getting out of the 4th inning since he came back from injury, so not going much length. But he's been okay. I found this difficult because I don't really want to back Boston at -140 particularly. I went on the trends. I found some trends that all pointed over. The Angels 25-23 against righties. The Red Sox 8-3 to the over against lefties. And then as far as starting pitchers concerned, Kikuchi's gone 8-3 to the over. Bello's gone 6-2 to the over. So I was happy enough with that. I struggled to split anything. Those trends split it on my behalf. So I'll carry on with the over at 9.5. 7:10 Eastern is the Milwaukee Brewers at the Cincinnati Reds. It is Freddie Peralta for the Brewers. For Cincinnati, it will be Hunter Green. This is a tighter one on the books. Cincinnati -115, the Brewers -105, and the total is at 8. Brewers in good form. 7-game winning streak. That is their first 7-game winning streak since mid-2023, as it happens. Peralta's been fine on the road. We know he's lights out at home, but he's still been acceptable on the road. 3.75 ERA. Loads of unders in Peralta starts. 8-3-1 straight up to the under. Hunter Green's plodding along just fine. I always get Hunter Green wrong. I think we had this last week on the show as well. I very often get Cincinnati wrong as it happens. Green's not getting much length, and I think the Brewers could run down the Reds' bullpen later on. I fancy the Brewers in this spot, Lonte. Tight one, but I think I'll take the Brewers to get it done later on.
Yeah, I like the Brewers as well, man. I mean, they've been playing extremely well. We talked about them in the Philly breakdown. They won 8 of 10. They've scored 5+ runs in 8 of their last 10. They took 3 or 4 in the April series when they were at home versus Cincinnati. And Cincinnati's a team that I can't figure out really either. They are 4-6 in the last 10. Green's had 2 or less in 4 straight, but he's had 5 combined Ks in his last 2 starts, which is, that's not like him. He's typically a high K guy. Even in short stints, he's still striking out a lot of guys. So that's kind of concerning. But again, I think we see a great pitching matchup, a ton of swing and miss stuff. Hopefully Green can kind of get back going. I think this game can play much like a 3-2 type of game. So I like Milwaukee. I like the under 8 as well. I mean, Peralta's only allowed more than 2 earned runs 3 times all year. He's obviously not sharp on the road. His walk issues, 15 walks in his last 6. 9 of those did come in the last 3 on the road. So that's a little bit concerning because, Cincinnati's kind of a front running team. If they can get out and get going, then that's when their offense kind of picks up. But if they have to do something if they're put in like high pressure situations, they generally don't deliver. And Green's got a low hit rate, under 4 hits allowed in 3 of his last 5. So I think this sets up for like a 3-2 type of game. Hopefully it's Milwaukee that wins it.
Lonte calling his shot as per usual. The Circa Resort and Casino in Las Vegas giving away the ultimate fantasy football experience. Outstanding prize this. Your entire 12-team league can draft at a cabana in stadium. Swim, 2 nights accommodation at Circa. Limo ride from the airport. $5,000 tab for your stay. 15% off all Circa properties with the promo code SGP15. Enter the ultimate fantasy football contest for free at sportsgamblingpodcast.com/circa. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/CIRCA. You hear us regularly on here talk about rhythm before, but they've just dropped a game-changing feature called Power Trends. These are AI-detected patterns where rhythms model has consistently won and has a high ROI. So things like a strikeout prop that's winning 59% of the time when the line and the probability hit a certain range. These power trends are updated daily. No noise, just clean data-backed bets. Download the Rhythm app. Check out Power Trends. Start betting smarter. Get your 7-day free trial. sportsgamblingpodcast.com/RITHMM. And finally, before we move on, we're brought to you by mybookie.ag. Your place to bet on every sport, including the NBA Finals. The MyBookie money bag is there for the true degens. Easy deposit and lightning fast payouts using crypto. Head to mybookie.ag, promo code SGPN for a 100% deposit match up to $1,000. T's and C's apply. That's mybookie.ag, promo code SGPN. Next game is a 7:15 Eastern first pitch between the Arizona Diamondbacks, who are firmly in the doghouse with me, and the Atlanta Braves. For the Diamondbacks, it will be Zach Gallen. The Braves will throw Spencer Strider tomorrow at a price of -150. Arizona +130. Total Lonte 8.5.
Man, I was totally I wanted to bet Atlanta here, but I think the number is a little bit too far gone. I mean, they took 2 of 3, Atlanta that is, in Arizona in late April. They're still inconsistent, just 4-6 last 10. Strider's, I think, finding his feet. He pitched really well against Philly, only 1 earned run allowed. He's yet to go 5 innings in his last 2 starts. I think this is his first home start, if I'm not mistaken. But can't trust Arizona, man. 8-2. Lost 8 of 10. They lost 4 straight on the road. Their bullpen ERA is over 5. I mean, Gallen's had 4+ runs in 7 of his 12 starts. He started off May pretty good. He had 2 earned combined in his first 2 starts, but he's allowed 19 in his last 4. He allowed 3 in 5 innings pitched versus Atlanta in the 425 matchup. So I'm gonna have to take Atlanta. I'll go Atlanta first 5. I'll probably lay a half a run and get some plus money on that. But nothing to feel strong about though, Mal.
The Diamondbacks are struggling. They just avoided last night a second 5-game skid in the space of 11 games, which tells you where they are. So really difficult to back at the moment. And Zach Gallen's miles off it, surprisingly so. The worst sort of form I've known since we've been doing the show here. 19 earned runs given up in his last 4 starts, 4 defeats. And Arizona let up 36 runs in those 4 losses as well. Spencer Strider is starting to look better and better. Now, 7 strikeouts at Philadelphia last time. He only registered 10 outs. 7 of those were punches. So that's a testament to the direction Strider's heading in. The odds are slightly skewed here for Atlanta and the run line, just because the numbers don't really back it up at such a short price. So it was the price that put me off. Exactly the same as you, Lonte. I'm just happy to fade Gallen, was my take out of that. An Atlanta team total. This total is quite low. I think, 4.5 for Atlanta? Gallen's given that up by himself regularly. So, yeah, I'll take the Braves team total. Next is 7:35 Eastern. First pitch. This is a good-looking matchup between the Texas Rangers and the Tampa Bay Rays, where Tyler Marley will go for the Rangers. For the Rays, it will be Drew Rasmussen, -135 Tampa Bay, +115 Texas, and the total sits at 8. My guy, Nathan Eovaldi, to the IL for Texas, which is gravely disappointing. He was having an excellent season. I had tipped him up for a Cy Young, and he wasn't doing his chances any harm at all. So Texas are going to miss him a little bit. But in Tyler Marley, Texas starting pitching, they've turned up some surprises here. Patrick Corbin's not being horrible. Obviously, DeGrom we expected to be good. But Tyler Marley just carries on being top class. 6 scoreless against the Blue Jays last time. 12 starts and a 1.64 ERA. There's nothing fluky about that. You can't spawn those numbers at all. Drew Rasmussen has got 3 starts in a row without letting up an earned run. I thought this total would be lower. And with good reason. Marley's 10-2 to the under. Rasmussen's 8-3 to the under. The bullpens are fine. This is half a run, maybe even a whole run, higher than I thought it was going to be. Under 8 for me, Lonte. Am I missing something?
No, this is probably 2 of my favorite plays on the card, man. I like Texas, and I like the under. I guess borderline love. So just start off with the under, like you talked about. I thought it should be like 6.5, 7, to be honest. I mean, both pitchers have pitched in 4 straight unders. Texas is under in 6 of the last 10. Tampa's under in 7 of the last 10. So I think both pitchers are in good form. I mean, Rasmussen's 8 hits combined in his last 18 innings pitched. You talked about the scoreless streak that he's on right now. And he doesn't have a lot of swing and miss stuff. It's more so he's just like contact pitcher, ground ball pitcher. He's got less than 5 Ks in 4 of his last 7. Both of these pitchers dueled off. Well, they didn't duel off against each other, but they pitched against each other in April. Molly threw 5 scoreless in that April meeting, only 1 hit allowed. Rasmussen 1 earned in 5 innings pitched in his start. But Texas, man, they won 7 straight versus Tampa, including 3-0 this year. 2 of those were by 2+ runs. And they have been inconsistent as of late. But the offense looked better versus St. Louis this weekend, which is always the calling card for them. The pitching is going to be there. I mean, they're hitting 200 in their last 10. And Tampa, while they've been playing well, their offense has kind of been inconsistent as well. 13 runs, 1 run, 16 runs, no runs in the last 4. Now they're hitting the ball a lot better than they have been, and a lot better than Texas. But I'm going to take Molly. I'm going to take Texas, who's had immediate success against his team for the past year or so. So I like Texas at the plus money. They actually opened 125, and now it's down. So I kind of agree with that. So I'm going to take the under, and I'm going to take Texas. I just think that price is a little bit too big.
Next up is one of the 3 games that's off the board. The Detroit Tigers at the Chicago White Sox, and it's the Tigers who have been TBD all day. I think the reason being Jackson Jobe has gone to the IL, which has thrown their rotation into a state of flux. Ever so briefly for the Chicago White Sox, another one of my guys, Shane Smith, will go for the White Sox. I see no lines on this at all. Lonte, do you have much on this without a Tigers picture?
Yeah, not a ton. I mean, obviously, I think unless they go to opener, I expect the Tigers to be heavy favorites. I mean, Shane Smith's not been bad, though. I would look at maybe a White Sox first 5 or first 5 under, but just hard to tell with no lines and no pitcher, especially.
Yeah, Detroit have only let up 11 runs in the last 6 games. Run prevention was the buzzword last Monday night when we did this show for the Tigers series. And I mean, they're great at it. It's what they do. But Shane Smith, he got the win last time because I feel like we've been picking him every week. And we've been chasing him kind of a little bit. But he did pick up the win last time at plus 200, actually, he was against the New York Mets. And this is the thing with Smith. If you get him once or 2 in every 5, it's going to pay because he's a decent price. He's actually 5-4-3 first 5 in his starts, which was a profitable trend. So I don't mind rolling with him early. The White Sox aren't terrible on the road. I know we laughed at the Rockies earlier on. 12-15, the White Sox. So they can be quite competitive at home. So yeah, I'm going to take the White Sox first 5. Or I wouldn't put you off the White Sox first 5, depending on who goes for Detroit and the prices, obviously. Next game, 7:45 Eastern. First pitch is the Kansas City Royals at the St. Louis Cardinals. Michael Lorenzen for Kansas City and Andre Palante will go for the Royals. Prices are -140 for the Cardinals, plus 120 for the Royals. Total sits at 8.5. The first bit of news coming out of this is the call-up of Jack Caglione. We need to confirm how we're going to pronounce his name. Are we going straight in with Caglione? Other people like to go with the Caglianone. Do you pronounce the end? We'll get your thoughts on that in a minute. In fact, Noah messaged me last night. We all know Noah Beanick off all the college stuff, the college experience, the college baseball, etc. He messaged me last night telling me to pick up Caglione in all fantasy formats. Noah's a great college prospect guy. So Cag will be here tomorrow. He's gone through the levels really quickly. I think he had 6 homers in his first 9 games at AAA over the last couple of weeks. They've just brought him up. And they needed to, because the Kansas City Royals outfield was dog shit. They had the second worst outfield OPS in MLB. Needed to do something about it. So maybe Cag can do that. I just don't want anything to do with Lorenzen still. 6 earned runs last time in the 3rd consecutive loss. He has a 5.17 road ERA. Palante is steady, if kind of average. This looked instinctively like an over game, sort of fading both pitchers, but the stats didn't back it up for me. But St. Louis win Palante's start. I don't like Lorenzen. St. Louis are 19-8 at home. Good record as well. I'll take the Cards at -140, Lonte.
Yeah, that was right around my cutoff point. And you talked about the total. That's the first thing I wrote down was over. But then I was looking at it and I was like, not too. I don't really trust Kansas City's offense.
You're right. I thought the same as you. I wrote the total down, and then everything made me want to start backtracking. Yeah, I'm pleased you saw that, Lonte.
Yeah, so I'm gonna take the team total over for St. Louis. They took 2 of 3 in mid-May at Kansas City. They hit righties pretty well, 264 versus righties. And the reason why I was going to take the over is the bullpen ERA for St. Louis has been not too good in the last 10. Their ERA is over 5. But Palante's been steady. I mean, he pitched well in the May meeting. He did allow 7 hits, but only 2 earned runs in 7 innings. Lorenzen, up and down, like you said, he's coming off his worst start of the year. So maybe maybe he pitches well here. He's got a 5.34. He had a 5.34 ERA in May. So yeah, I would be with you on the Cardinals. The number is kind of right where I put it, but instead I'll just take the team total over for St. Louis.
Yeah, that's a great angle, actually, Lonte. I probably should have been good enough to get there myself.
Yeah, we got there together, brother. That's all, man. That's all that matters.
It's a team. There's no iron team, Lonte. We do this hand in hand. 9:40 Eastern first pitch. Baltimore Orioles at the Seattle Mariners. Tomoyuki Sagano for the Orioles. For the Mariners, it is George Kirby. -160 Seattle, +140 Baltimore. The total, Lonte, 7.5.
Yeah, so I'm going to take the over, that 7.5, and I'm going to take Baltimore with the plus money. I mean, Baltimore 6-4 the last 10. I know they had a good weekend versus the White Sox, but that maybe kind of got them going a little bit. Offenses looked a little bit better. Kirby struggled in both of his starts. He's got 11 earned and 8 2/3 innings pitched, 13 hits. Baltimore has been hitting the ball as of late. Sagano's 2 or less in 4 of his last 6. He's got a low K rate, so that's why I kind of like the over, and Kirby obviously running off those numbers. Both teams hitting about 260 last 10, averaging about 4 runs per 9. Seattle hits the ball better at home. They're about 256 at home. I think both teams will be able to score. And I'm gonna take a shot with Baltimore, man. I think Baltimore may be a bet on team this month, the way their schedule sets up. So I'm gonna take Baltimore, and I'm gonna take the over.
Yeah, that's interesting, Lonte, saying you want to look at Baltimore as a team to follow. I'll be keeping my eye on them.
Yep.
I was on the same path as you in terms of over, but I've got first 5 over was my preferred play here. We've been quite positive about Sagano lately. He's kind of carrying Baltimore. Looks to be taking his toll. He's leveling out just a little bit. George Kirby only has 2 starts so far. They were both absolute shockers. 8 2/3 with 11 earned runs across those 2. So it's hard to want to bet him without seeing until he's demonstrated that he's sort of back and ready. -160 is too short for Seattle completely. My instinct was the over, and the stats back up the first 5 a lot. Baltimore 24-15-1. Seattle 25-14-4. So both teams going first 5 over in a game where I wasn't too keen on both pitchers. That was good enough for me in that situation. 9:45 Eastern first pitch. The San Diego Padres at the San Francisco Giants. This is one we got back-to-back off-the-board games here. 2 of the last 3 are off the board. San Diego are officially TBD. I did have Kyle Hart, left-handed pitcher, down to pitch for the Padres, taking on Landon Rupp of the Giants. But like I say, no odds on this yet. Kyle Hart, if it is him, 3 defeats in a row, 12 earned runs given up in those, lost all 3 times on the run line in those 3 games as well. And Landon Rupp's been outstanding in May. 1.73 ERA, Giants 17-9 at home. Giants was my pick. Obviously, if it's not a ridiculous price, and depending on the Padres pitching situation. But yeah, I like Rupp and I like the Giants in this spot, Lonte.
Yeah, this was a tough for me. I wanted to take under. The Giants have been struggling offensively. They're under a 9 of their last 10. They also haven't been playing well, but they're returning back home from a 3-series road trip. They're 4-6 in their last 10. San Diego they've pretty much owned San Francisco as of late. 5 straight wins versus them, 2-0 this year. They won 6 of their last 10, but they really haven't been impressive to me at all. I think a couple comeback wins this weekend. And they're also under in 7 of their last 10. So my first look was under, depending on who the pitcher is for the Padres. So yeah, I would probably stay away from the side. But you made some interesting points that make me kind of go with the Giants. I might go Giants first 5. But I do like the under in the game though.
We follow that with another game, of which we have no lines. It is the Minnesota Twins at the Athletics. Minnesota are confirmed to be throwing Pablo Lopez. The Athletics are TBD. I've seen Jacob Lopez going for the Athletics. You think it's him as well, yeah?
Yeah. Lopez. I got a Lopez showdown and written down in my notes.
Yep, it is. No lines on this one. Lonte, who's your favourite Lopez?
Well, it's going to be the one with the better team for sure. I mean, we like the A's, man, but they just, like I said, I think they're better than what they've been showing. I mean, they faced a ferocious schedule last month, and I think it might ease up a little bit this month. They have particularly been playing well on the road, but then I think they're like 1-17 in the last 18, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, I probably have to go with the Twins. Maybe good at team total over. This is their third straight road series. They haven't been playing well at all either. But Lopez has been really good, man. He's allowed over 2 runs just twice this year, 2 or less, and 4 or 5 on the road. So maybe look at the over, because the A's offense has still been able to get things right. And the other Lopez for the A's, 7 earned and 1 2/3 innings pitched versus Toronto, and that this is a much better offense than Toronto. So I would go probably over and Minnesota if I had to, depending on the price.
Yeah, I much preferred Minnesota too. Pablo Lopez, not quite as sharp lately, giving up 4 earned runs twice in his last 5 starts. But a 104 whip tells you he's going well. Jacob Lopez had been going along okay in the pen. They brought him up for a start, and he had an absolute beauty against the Phillies. And then he got completely blown up in his start after that. So real head-scratching stuff from Jacob Lopez. The A's are rubbish against right-handed pitching, 17-31. And as a run-line favourite, Minnesota 31-24. So there will be favourites in this spot. But no problem with them covering that. And we do like a DGen play. The Yerfie here. Pablo Lopez, 6-4 in his starts to a Yerfie. And the Twins are 32-25 to a Yerfie, which is a nice little trend as well. So if you want to have a winner before you go to bed like me, do the Twins and the A's. Actually, Lonte, I wanted to pick a bone with you. We talked last week. You said you'd been back in some first 3 innings plays, didn't you?
Yep.
And I said, that's a good idea because it means I can watch the game and then go to bed. And it was a Miami game, and I took the over. I think it was Sandy against someone. And it was nothing after the first 3. And then I woke up in the morning and it finished something like 12-9. So the fucking play was right. And I woke up, I thought, oh, you Lonte, you bastard. Like,
so I owe you. And next time when I come over, to your country, I'll buy you a beer.
Yeah, you owe me a bacon sandwich or something for that. It was just dead ironic because it was just in my head. I thought, I'll do this. And then when I saw the score, there was 20 runs scored, but none of them when I wanted. The final game on the card here is a Cowboy time 10-10 Eastern first pitch between Tyler Miguel of the New York Mets and Clayton Kershaw, left-handed pitcher of the LA Dodgers. Minus 140 for the Dodgers, plus 120 for the Mets. And the total is at 9.5. Tyler Miguel occasionally is okay. He's another one I struggle with. I said Hunter Green was one earlier on. Tyler Miguel a little bit. Much worse on the road. In fact, his ERA is over 2.5 runs per game worse away from Citi Field than it is in New York. The Mets lineup looked a little bit livelier this weekend. Juan Soto had a couple of home runs over the weekend. Lindor went 6 for 11 with 3 homers. I think there was one night where all 3 of them hit a home run for the first time since the 3 of them have been playing together. Kershaw has done enough in his last 2 starts to tell me he can go well. I've picked this stat up, Lonte. This is a stat of the day. Career against the New York Mets, Clayton Kershaw, 11-0 with a 2.00 ERA. That's a stat it's hard to argue with. 11-0, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
So the Mets top 3 hitting again just was a little cause for concern, and they're doing okay against left-handed pitching. So I left that side of them out. I'll take the Dodgers to get to McGill. Dodgers team total, Lonte.
Yeah, so I mean, you put it. That was a great stat for Kershaw. I'm gonna put that in my notes. But I like the Dodgers here. I think the Dodgers are a little bit short. I mean, if you look at they've been struggling offensively, kind of off and on. They did take 2 of 3 at home last week versus the Dodgers, so I think the Dodgers are going to get a little payback here. The Mets numbers overall, maybe a little bit exaggerated because, okay, they've won 8 of the last 10, but 5 of those 8 wins were against the White Sox and the Rockies. So they can bolster up those offensive numbers. And I think the Dodgers, although they've been, if you really look at it, this is exactly where the Dodgers were kind of last year when people were like, I don't really know about them. And they still are yet to get healthy with the pitching rotation. I think once like July hits, I think they'll be back in good form. Once they get some guys back, offense will always be there. But I think Kershaw has gotten better with each start. He's coming off 5 scoreless against Cleveland. I think this is a good series for the Dodgers. If you can bet the Dodgers to win the series, I think that's a good bet. But I like the Dodgers in this spot. I think the Mets are a little bit overvalued just of what they did to 2 of the bottom teams in the league.
Yeah, not only was the Dodgers rotation completely decimated, but the bullpen went a little bit berserk for a couple of weeks. It just isn't like them at all. The other thing with the Dodgers is, they'll just write a check if they need to.
Absolutely.
If they want a player or two, they just go get him. Yeah, pinch him off some other teams. So, Lonte, tidy 15 games in the book. I think it's my turn this week. I told you I was going to write down, but I forgot. That lasted 3 weeks. But I think it's my go. So I'm going to lead off anyway with, the only problem is now I don't know what I'm going to pick. I've decided I want to go first, but I don't know what it is. Let's try. I'm going to take the under 8 in the Rays Rangers game. You say you don't like it. Now you were going to pick that, weren't you? I can tell I'm into you.
Yeah. You took mine.
I saw your face then. It just looks really obvious. I thought this would be 7.5 or possibly even 7. Marley, good. Rasmussen, good. And all the trends for these 2 pitchers have been towards the under. So we'll take an under there. And for my dog, a few little puppies kicking around. I think the Blue Jays. I think you had more underdogs actually than me. The Blue Jays alive, the Angels alive. Let's have a go at. It's got to be Houston. I'm fading Paul Skeens, man, all the way at these prices anyway. Plus 120 for Houston and Lance McCullers to get the win over Pittsburgh. Lonte, what have you got?
Yeah, man, I think we just talked about my lock. We're going to go with the Dodgers. You ran off the numbers for Kershaw. I didn't even have those numbers, but I still like him. I think it's a good series for them. I think 140 is a little bit too short. I wouldn't be surprised if they get up to 155, 160. Like I said, I think the Mets are being a little bit overvalued for what they did to the White Sox and the Rockies, respectively. So I'm going to take the Dodgers a little bit chalky here at minus 140. For the dog, we're going to stick in that same game that you took your luck in, Mal. I'm going to take Texas. Like I said, they've won 7 straight versus Tampa, 3-0 this year. They won 2 of those games by 2+ runs, so nothing fluky. I think the pitchers are about even. I will say that. And Tampa's got the better offense as of right now. But I think the success that they've had over Tampa is that's something that can't be overshadowed, especially what they've had this year as well. So I'm going to take I'm going to take Texas at plus money on the road against Tampa. Okay,
thank you very much. Lane's joined us in the chat for the last couple of minutes. Lane, welcome along. Nice to have you. Home run play. I hit one last night. We were asked on Twitter. I think it was Eli asked us on Twitter to throw out a home run play. And I hit Cal Raleigh, so I'm still live and kicking. I'm going to give out a Rocky, Lonte. Let's go mad on a Monday. Sandy Alcantara is giving up runs to everybody. Colorado Rockies, the 9-50 Colorado Rockies. And we'll go with, this might be a madness, Ryan McMahon is the answer.
I like that.
Yeah, you having that?
I like that.
Okay, there you go. What have you got?
I got Matt Olson. You talked about Gallen being extremely volatile. He's given up 4+ and 3 straight, if I'm not mistaken. Matt Olson has had a hit in 5 straight. He hasn't had a home run in about 2 weeks. And in this matchup, in the April series, he only had 1 hit in the 3 games. And I think he was very close to taking 1 yard in a couple of games. So I'm thinking to take Matt Olson to get one off tomorrow.
Okay, I like that. I look forward to landing the double and opening Twitter on Wednesday and someone tagging us that they've got a Ryan McMahon, Matt Olson double up. Lonte, beautifully done. Thank you very much. Do you have anything you want to tell the people before we let them go?
Nah, man, we'll be back tomorrow. So it's a rare. We get a double dose. We get a double shot tomorrow. We'll be back. And yeah, man, I'm looking forward to it. Yes.
Okay, mate. Thank you very much. Thanks, everyone who joined us in the comments. It was always fun. If you do get a chance, by all means, get across and join us. Like, rate, subscribe, thumbs up, all of the good stuff. If you can, it helps the entire network. Good luck with your picks. Back tomorrow, and we will see you all down the road.